What's up, WiiDaBois? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a tier list for Nintendo's consoles. This is every console from variation to portable to home consoles. Today we got me, Matt, Alan, Christian, and surprisingly, Yammer. So the OG, the classic, the NES. How do we feel about this? Where do we think we're going to rank this?
It's kind of the console that started it all, but of course it had its flaws.
I think.
It had very good games, and I like Mega Man, so obviously I'm gonna be biased because 6 Mega Man games are on there. But I definitely think a lot of the game aged really poorly on this console. But I mean, you gotta have nothing but respect for it. So I think, me personally, I think I'm gonna go for a B tier. But what are you guys feeling?
I'm feeling B tier.
Yeah, and
B tier.
Yeah, mid.
Alright. We could obviously change as we go, but for now, we'll keep it there. Alright. Why not? We'll go with its companion. We'll go with the original Game Boy. How do we feel about the original Game Boy? Now that, again, we're doing variations, so don't count pocket and color and all that. This is the original, the green puke Game Boy.
I'm gonna keep it 100 real quick. I only know the advance, so
You never heard of Mario Land 1 and 2?
I do know Land. Yeah, that was pretty dope.
Now, here's my thing with this. Very good games on this console, but no backlight, and there's 4 colors on the screen. How are you going to come out with a handheld console with 4 colors? And it's not even black and white, it's puke green.
Well, when you put it that way, it is.
Out of it as like.
So you gotta respect it.
I got nothing but love for the games, and it sold insanely well, but at the end of the day, going back to this one's definitely tough, and I would much rather be playing this on the Game Boy Advance. So I'm feeling C tier.
It could have been like a blueprint for the DS's.
Definitely. You could definitely see the seeds being planted here.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards C tier, but we could definitely bump it up to B tier. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
I'll do B tier.
And I like Doug Bowser tier.
Alright. I'll put it in B tier for now because that's the consensus here. Okay. Moving on, we're gonna hit you guys with some superpower. We're gonna hit you with the Super Nintendo. How are we feeling about that? What do we think this is going?
I think the catalogs of games have expanded on that one quite.
Definitely. I definitely think the games on this console have aged much better in comparison to the NES, and I think like the Super Nintendo was like the NES being perfected. So I definitely think a lot of these games are some of the best. Like you got Mario World. Mario World is just Mario 3 on crack. You got Link to the Past. Link to the Past is just Zelda 1 on crack. You got Super Metroid. Super Metroid is just Metroid 1 on crack. So it's like a lot of these games are just like the best versions they can be.
I mean, in my opinion, I think it's in a higher tier than NES, but like I think the stuff coming forward, it should be lower than. So like I don't know, but maybe high blackjack tier.
Okay, how we feeling about that, guys?
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
Go ahead and put that at the top.
Yeah.
Because like Mario World is just that awesome, and like 3D, I mean regular All Stars is pretty dope.
What about Game Boy Color? Where are we gonna put the Game Boy Color?
Did the
That
game
definitely did improve.
Like,
I'd put Game Boy Color in B.
Yeah, B.
I think Game Boy Color is still less than NES, but it's higher than the original Game Boy.
So high B?
It's around mid B. I still think I'd rather play an NES game over a Game Boy Color game. Okay, let's get out of the B tier. We'll skip around a little bit here. Let's go ahead and let's do the GameCube. How are we feeling about the GameCube?
finally a good console. Oh my god. All this goddamn mid.
Okay, 4-player multiplayer. You got the expandable port on the bottom so you can play Game Boy Advance games or play online if you really want to. You got one of the best controllers in gaming history, in my humble opinion. I know it's a very divisive controller, but for me it is so comfortable. And a lot of really fantastic games. How are you feeling about this console?
Yeah, I agree. It should be an Iwata tier.
There is a lot of good games, but a lot of people said the performance of the game, but I think that's just, I don't know. I think we just never gave like a good proper look at the GameCube, so I'd say
It
put
does
it
have a
in A.
handle.
And I just want to say that the GameCube, it started pretty dope Mario parties, Mario Strikers, Mario Baseball, etc., etc.
Mario Kart Double Dash was one of the most insane entries in the Mario Kart series.
Yeah,
True.
and Melee.
What was that? Oh, no, just for that, you're going down a tier.
No, that's understandable actually.
Like Luigi's Mansion, though.
Yeah,
True.
we got Luigi's
Oh, for that, it
Mansion.
goes up a tier. Okay, we'll leave it in S tier for now. It is a very good console. Okay, so now we're gonna go back to Ash. How are we feeling about the Virtual Boy?
I know you did not just call it shit ass.
Well, I mean, I have played it. I played a couple of games on it via an emulator, and I must say I do really like the Wario Land entry on the console. However, every other game outside of that, I can't say I really enjoyed. Not to mention, this is the same color palette as a Game Boy. So how are you gonna have a VR console and have it be the same color palette as a Game Boy, but in red and black? Like, how do you do worse than the Game Boy colors?
Yeah, it does look pretty cool, but it also looks like a fucked up tarantula at the same time, so I'd put it in Fling Smash tier.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay, valid. Okay, we're gonna go back to something old. How about we do the N64? How are we feeling about the N64, guys?
Honestly, I think that was a staple of Nintendo, and I think it still is. It's the most notable console that they have released. That's what I think.
Mario 64 to Legend of Zelda are pretty nice ones.
Yeah, very
True.
good games on this console. Very good game.
Mario Kart.
Yeah, I think Nintendo 64 is pretty cool, but it could have aged better like the others. That would be an Iwata tier. So, in my humble opinion, I would put it in Chris Pratt tier.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'll put it
Me
in.
personally, I think SNES games have aged much better. Like, I feel like if you go back to an SNES, I feel like it's easier to go back to those games because I feel like they seem more modern than N64 games because they're all, polygonal and all that. But definitely in terms of game quality, they are very good here, and we're not missing.
Yeah.
Also, it kickstarted the 4-player multiplayer trend, which is amazing. You love to see it. Let's hit you guys with the original DS. How are we feeling about the fat model?
Last year.
Okay. You know me, I love my DS, but I'm gonna say this, that I don't think the DS Fat aged well at all. It's uncomfortable, it's clunky, the screen is atrocious, and the stylus is terrible. It looks cool, it doesn't feel cool. Since we're not rating based on libraries, if we were rating by libraries, I'd put this in S tier easily, but it's about the whole package. And since there's better DSs you can go for, I think this is gonna have to be a high B tier for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will put in Blackjack tier as well. It's pretty cool, very innovative, but there were just other DSs that came after it that I think undeniably succeeded to a good way.
Alright, speaking of, we're gonna crash through the whole DS family here. Next up, we got the DS Lite. How we feeling about the DS Lite?
I'd give it a B.
Let's see.
Yeah,
I think it's better than the DS Fat. I think it should be an A tier for me personally, because the screens are significantly better. They didn't change in size, but they changed in quality. It has a much better build quality. It's more compact and it has better buttons that are more akin to the NES as opposed to clickier, similar to the Switch buttons. And overall, I think it's just a really good looking console. I have 4 of them.
I would put it in a Blackjack tier, honestly. Like, I feel like,
Yeah, Jack. Actually, yeah, Jack Black.
yeah.
All right. We're gonna move on now to the DSi, the original DSi, not the DSi XL.
Damn.
Remove the Game Boy Advance port, which is pretty big, but the online infrastructure of this console was completely overhauled. You got a new user interface. You can download stuff from the store. You have an internet browser baked in. New and improved PictoChat, Flipnote Studio. How are we feeling about this?
I the B tier.
I want to put in Iwata tier, but like
I think A tier is fair.
yeah, I feel like Iwata tier is too prestigious, and it's not. It's just not there. So yeah, I'm gonna put in Chris Pratt tier.
Okay, actually, I think I'm gonna move it down because I forgot the DSi XL exists. So we could put the original in B tier, put the XL in A tier, because I feel like the XL is the best model
That's fair.
of them all. Okay, now that we crashed through that, let's move on. We're gonna hit you guys with a very controversial Nintendo console. This could be half the video here, guys. The Nintendo Wii U.
Iwata tier.
Oof.
Alright. So
That's
listen. Other than the game library, which I think is pretty good, but dude, Miiverse,
Wait, hold on. It's pretty good.
it's pretty dope.
Okay, so I think what carries the GameCube to S tier for me is the game library, but I think the Wii U's library is one of the worst out of any of these consoles on this tier list.
Yeah, not only that, it feels like it's kind of a little lazy with the things. Like, if they made that like a I don't know, like a feature? No, like the PlayStation movement thing, if they just did that like a side thing, I don't know what's the term for it. If they did something like that, I
gimmick?
think that would make, yeah, like a gimmick. I think it would make the Wii better if they just put that on the Wii.
Here's my opinion on it. I'm gonna talk about the library here. First of all, you got one Mario Sports game. It was a bad Mario Sports game. You got one Mario Party game. It was a mid Mario Party game. You got one mainline Mario 3D entry, which is, albeit a good game, but it is not a traditional 3D Mario game, and I feel like that is pretty bad for a Nintendo home console. You're not going to have an original 3D Mario game that isn't, the stereotypical one. And the Zelda output, not to mention, obviously a lot of the older games were brought back on here, and they're very good, but we didn't get any good original games. Oh, you Breath of the Wild on it. Yeah, shut up, whatever.
Alright, but Miiverse is literally like fucking Instagram, but for people without depression. So
Yeah.
like
But you can't use Miiverse nowadays.
yeah, but you can't use the Wii Shop.
But we didn't use the Wii. We didn't say the Wii yet.
Well, anyways,
If Miiverse is the only saving grace for it, I think it deserves C tier.
Games on the Wii.
Yeah.
well, it's not, but it's just a plus.
I mean, there are some pros and cons to that, but yeah, I see it belonging in a C tier for me.
What about you, Alan?
I agree.
I
You
will put it in
agree?
C tier.
Hold on, what do you agree with?
Bro, why you gotta call me out like that?
No, yeah, what do you agree with? I'll settle for Blackjack tier.
We'll keep it in C tier for now. If
No,
we
that's
need to move it up, we'll move it up. I'm a man of the people, Christian.
Dude, it had Wii Party U.
That was a very good game. However, I don't want to put half of this tier list in B tier
Alright,
because that's how it looks right now.
goddamn.
Yeah.
Let's go to something good, in my opinion. The Game Boy Advance. How are we feeling about the Game Boy Advance? The original, not the SP.
Blackjack tier.
Yeah,
I
I
think-
like that.
I think it's definitely high Blackjack tier. I want to put it in A tier, but it not having a backlit screen really hurts it for me because it's almost impossible for me to play this in my room. It's super comfortable to hold. This might be one of the most comfortable Nintendo consoles I've ever held in my entire life. But it's just really unfortunate that, you know, it doesn't have a backlight in the screen. And it has a phenomenal library of games. You know, you have 4 Mario remakes on there. You have amazing Zelda games on there. I'm not gay, but there's tons of Pokemon games on there.
Yeah.
And like, look, it's good, but like, there's just the others are above it for a reason. Like, you just can't put it that high.
I'm gonna go ahead and put the DS Fat over it as well, because DS Fat is basically a Game Boy Advance, but as a DS. So, but speaking of, we have the Game Boy Advance SP. Where we think we're gonna put this? Now, it is literally the same thing, but different form factor. It's more akin to a DS in the foldable design, and the buttons are clickier, is rechargeable battery, and it actually has a backlit screen, which I think is a significant upgrade for me.
Yep.
Yeah,
So-
I'm gonna let y'all take this one because I don't know like that.
I think it's A tier. The library is very good, and since we don't have a DS that supports backwards compatibility in A tier, I think this would do it,
I'll take it
because it's just literally a Game Boy. Okay, we're closing up here.
Yep.
Next up, we got we'll do the 3DS family. The original 3DS. How we feeling about that?
I'd say it would be A tier.
Yeah, I would put in Chris Pratt tier as well because I just feel like I want to put it in S tier, Iwata tier, but I feel like you just gotta put the successors there. IMO.
I'ma say B tier. I
What
think
the fuck?
I'll tell you why. I love this model to death, but practicality-wise, it is one of the worst 3DSs out there. It's very fragile. The buttons and the sticks leave an imprint on the top screen. It's small. It's hard to see. The 3D effect is the worst on this model. And overall, it's just, you know, a bad design. I really like it because I'm super nostalgic over it. I do want to put it higher than B tier, but I think practicality-wise, it's the worst 3DS in my opinion.
Yeah, I remember the 3D function making my eyes hurt a little bit when I first tried it. That's all I can remember of that. The 3D function of that one. Everything else was alright. The handling I felt was decent for me, but the 3D function was just, you know, it hurt my eyes a bit.
For some reason, this tier list does not have the 3DS XL, so instead we're going to skip to the original 2DS, the door stopper design. Some people really like this. It's weird, but some people really like the buttons. Me personally, the buttons feel super comfortable. It is very comfortable for me to hold, but I have not. I don't own one, so I don't know how it is to play this for hours on end.
True, the model of the thing did felt like if you dropped it, it would snap in half.
I don't like it because you can't not close it. I just like it. It kind of does look goofy,
Yes.
And I don't use the 2D. I mean the 3D at all. But like, I don't know. I still feel like imagine the movie. Like that shit was dope with 3D, and I don't got that.
Yeah, it's true. I'm thinking C tier above Wii U.
No, you're not putting that shit above the Wii U.
But it has the 3DS library and the DS library.
No, that's fucking criminal, bro.
Do you really think the Wii U library is better in comparison to the 3DS library?
That way we weren't doing this based off library.
We're not. Well, no, it's factored in. We're not doing it entirely based on their libraries.
Yeah, but it's not a. But like you could play the 3DS games on whatever you want. You can't play the Wii U games on the Switch.
What?
You could play 3DS games on 3DSs and 2DSs, but you can't play Wii U games on a Wii or a Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, what does that got to do with it?
Because you said you got the 3DS library, but that's not exclusive to the 2DS. You can play the Wii on whatever on only the Wii U.
Yeah, but I don't think that makes the 2DS any less of worth in comparison to the Wii U. If you told me which, like, oh, here's a Wii U, here's a 2DS, which one would you rather play? I'd rather play on the 2DS because I think it has better games.
It's got a better library too.
Whatever. Fine.
Okay, moving on. We have the new Nintendo 3DS XL.
You'll put that shit in a water tier right now.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New Nintendo 2DS XL.
Uh,
Chris Pratt tier.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it has the best screens, but it feels very cheap. I'm gonna put it below the DSi XL. Okay, we're coming up on the close here. Next up, we have the Nintendo Switch.
Ooh.
Alright, so hold up. So if this is not based off of library, right?
It's not entirely based off libraries, but you can factor it in.
I'll factor in a little bit. So the little bit, I'm gonna put it in. That shit gotta be in. Fuck. I'll put that shit in Chris Pratt tier.
Yeah, Chris Pratt, I guess.
I was gonna say I feel like it's an immediate A tier for me. I'm also gonna rearrange Chris Pratt tier. I'm gonna go ahead and put the DSs and 3DS above the N64 and the Game Boy Advance as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's a fair decision to make. Okay, yeah, like let's explain this real quick. Switch is, it's basically Nintendo, not necessarily peaking, but they understand that they're ahead of the curve right now, and they have a very great selection of games for this thing. You got Mario Odyssey, you got Breath of the Wild, you got every freaking good Wii U game you could imagine, except for a few that I'm very missing desperately. And then you have, like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is like souped up. You got Smash Ultimate. And then you got some new weirder games like freaking Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 3, Nintendo Labo. There's just a lot of stuff here. There's something for everyone on Switch. You're not going to be missing out on anything picking this one.
Okay. I just want to say, okay, I was thinking about it. I feel like it should be in Iwata tier because I was just thinking about the interface itself, like no interactive stuff, but like, dude, it being a friggin' home console and a handheld is like that's just fucking elite.
Yeah, it is a pretty revolutionary idea.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is playing Smash?
I just wish they incorporated more use of the motion, like how they do with the Wii kind of things with the remotes.
Yeah. I get it though, it's kind of tough.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would be cool with either one, but I will put it in Iwata tier.
I think it deserves its Iwata tier.
Yeah.
2 coming up now. The Nintendo Wii.
Oof, Wii's gotta go in S tier.
I would say Wii's S. Because the Wii, it was something. Well, how do you explain it?
It's so nostalgic.
Not nostalgic. It was something revolutionary. It brought motion controls in there. You had a sensor bar, so you had to point the Wiimote at the screen to use it. Unlike all the other consoles where you had to plug it in and use it. It was more unique than the other consoles.
Let me go off real quick. Let me go off. This, I think, is, and call it nostalgia blinded, but I'm literally gonna back it up. I think this is Nintendo's renaissance right here. Look at the Wii and DS era, specifically the Wii, obviously, because we're mentioning it here. Just like all the things that were happening in the gaming world at this time, although the Wii wasn't HD, but they were like starting to get there, right? Obviously Xbox and PS3 were HD, but it was in that era. Online gaming had just become a staple. So the Wii is Nintendo's first console with incorporated online, or I guess home console with that. And not to mention, they finally hit it off. Nintendo consoles have been on a steady decline, and the Wii finally brought that back. And it introduced casual gamers into a demographic. Like, that was a demographic unheard of beforehand. So it allowed Nintendo to experiment and that's why we got so many crazy titles on the Wii. Like, we got Fortune Street, we got Punch Out again, we got Sin and Punishment again, we got in Japan like Captain Rainbow. We got all these fantastic games that took advantage of the hardware, like WarioWare, Smooth Moves, Mario Kart Wii, all the Wii Sports and Wii Series games. You know, Wii Party, Wii Play.
Yeah.
I just think it doesn't get any better than that for me personally. And not to mention Virtual Console. Every other Nintendo console was supported up until that point on the Wii.
Yeah.
You didn't mention Mario Party 8.
And Mario Party 8.
I am greatly disgusted.
So, with that said, I do think it deserves S tier, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it all the way at the top.
Mario Party 8, it should be an S tier. Mario Party 8.
Is it a fair assessment that I think the Wii is better than the GameCube, the 3DS, and the Switch?
Well,
I love Mario
depends
Party.
on.
Okay, and last but not least, the Nintendo Switch Lite. Where are we putting this?
What the
That would be in D tier.
That is D tier.
Yo, throw that shit in fucking what's that shit called? Throw that shit in fucking Flink Smash tier. That shit's fucking ass.
Yeah.
Okay, for anyone wondering, there's an explanation to this. It's because on itself, it's a good console, good library, obviously, because it's a Switch. But it's not a Switch anymore.
Yeah, it's not a Switch. It's like the 2DS at that point.
Exactly. You're taking away the core aspect of it. I get it. It's good for kids, but it's so it's such a low difference in price to the point where it's like, just buy a regular Switch.
Yeah, fuck them kids.
Yeah, fuck them kids.
Yeah, but again, you still have access to the same games and anything. You just took away like the special part of what made the Switch unique.
I will say this: I do like the buttons and I do like the color schemes. Those are very good. But you took away the core thing that made the Switch the Switch.
Yeah.
Realistically, though, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in B tier because, despite everything, it still is a Switch at the end of the day. It still has that Switch library, and I still think it's a good console.
Yeah.
Alright, and with that, boys, that is our final tier list. In order from best to worst, we have the Wii, the GameCube, the new Nintendo 3DS XL, the Nintendo Switch, the DSi XL, the new Nintendo 2DS XL, the Game Boy Advance SP, the N64, the Nintendo 3DS, the Nintendo DSi, the Nintendo DS Lite, the Nintendo DS Original, the Game Boy Advance, the Super NES, the Nintendo Switch Lite, the NES, the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy Original, the Nintendo 2DS, the Wii U, and finally, the Virtual Boy.
How the fuck is how's the GameCube higher than the Switch?
I'm not sure.
That is insane, bro.
That is insane.
Well, that's why I mentioned it at the end, so we can improve any mistakes we made. GameCube over the 3DS, or 3DS over the GameCube?
Oh, yes. No, the 3DS clears. What the fuck?
Okay, valid. Alright, and that's our final tier list, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you drop a like, tell a friend, and as you can see at the bottom here, we have a bunch of consoles we couldn't rank, because we either just didn't want to, like in this case. Why would we rank the new Nintendo 3DS? That doesn't really make sense. Or, for example, the Nintendo GameCube Pocket, Game Boy Pocket. We don't have a Game Boy Pocket, so we don't know what it's like. Or the NES Top Loader. We don't know what that's like. So if you have any experience with any of these, go ahead and rank them. Drop them in the comments. If you think our opinion's wrong, argue with us. Tell us why you think the freaking Virtual Boy is the greatest Nintendo console ever released. Tell us why the Wii is ass. Explain that to us. We would love to have that discussion. Anyways, guys, we hope you enjoyed the video. Good night.
The Wii U should be higher.
Wahoo, it is me, Mario from WiiDaBois. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe. Click that notification bell so you're notified. Check out these videos. Thank you again.